Now at Nightside, a high-speed chase in Moses Lake ends in a fatal crash and 2 other suspects behind bars.
The clouds are steering clear for another sunny day, and it's going to be even warmer. I'll let you know how long this trend will last in the First Alert forecast.
And teachers are conducting daily safety sweeps at a local park to protect students from dangerous items. You're watching 4 News Now, Nightside. Thanks so much for staying up with us tonight. I'm Derek Dice. New on Nightside, Cheney police need your help looking for the people who broke into a popular coffee shop overnight. This is The Jar, a coffee stand on Betts Road. According to police, rocks were used to shatter the windows sometime between Tuesday night and Wednesday morning. After the windows were smashed, the tip jar, was stolen. CPD estimates the damage at over $1,000. If you have any information about this, you're asked to call Crime Check at the number on your screen, 509-456-2233. A robbery, assault, kidnapping, and high-speed chase led to a man's death this morning in Moses Lake, according to the Grant County Sheriff's Office. It says this violent series of events started at around 4:30 a.m. when a woman called 911 saying she'd been robbed, pistol whipped, and held against her will for 2 hours. Deputies found the suspects. 2 women surrendered and were taken into custody, but the man took off driving. He led deputies in a high-speed chase, then crashed into a utility pole on Lakeshore Drive and died on the scene. The 2 women are in the Grant County Jail, suspected of robbery and unlawful imprisonment. Washington State Patrol is investigating the crash. Well, teachers are cleaning up one Northeast Spokane park in order to keep their students safe. Those who live around Kehoe Park and Hilliard say things like broken glass, syringes, and foil are often found throughout the park. Teachers from the Northeast Youth Center go to the park before students arrive to pick up these types of items and to make sure kids don't get their hands on things they're not supposed to.
One of our adult teachers has to come down and canvass the whole entire park to make sure there isn't needles or beer cans or anything like that, because we have learned from previous times that we've come to this park that kids will say, "Hey teacher, look what I found," and it's a syringe.
The city says if you see things like this at your local park or around your neighborhood, don't call police. Call 311 instead. The city says if you don't call, then nobody will be able to clean up these items, and the more calls to 311, the higher priority it will become. If you're visiting Chief Gary Park, look toward the center ball field for some new lilac trees that were recently planted. Spokane Urban Forestry said these trees will provide shade for spectators while enhancing the park's beauty with its blooms. These newly planted trees are part of a larger project that will add around 15 lilac trees and 40 lilac shrubs throughout Spokane parks. Urban Forestry said this project is made possible thanks to the Spokane Indians' 50th anniversary fundraising efforts. Well, we had a beautiful day today, and it sounds like we've got more in store for us. Here's Chris Crocker with your First Alert forecast.
We do, and it's going to get even warmer. Let's take a look at our satellite and radar, and it is clear across the entire northwestern United States. Have to go down into southeast Idaho to find any clouds and showers, and that's the way it's going to stay for a few days. Our high temperatures today were above average by a few degrees, 62 in Spokane and in Coeur d'Alene, 60 in Pullman and St. Mary's, 63 in Ritzville today, and 66 in Lewiston. But all of these numbers will be a little bit higher tomorrow, with a lot of 70s on the map throughout eastern Washington, 69 in Colville, 67 in Moscow and Pullman, and we'll be in the 60s through North Idaho, but just barely right around the Spokane area. 71 in Spokane Valley, Meade, and 9 Mile, and 73 in downtown Spokane, 66 in Spirit Lake, and 68 in Spangle. Bright blue skies, generally light winds, less than 10 miles per hour, 37 to start the day. It will likely be our last day in the 30s for a while. Heading up to that high of 70, 59 is our average high. I'll be back with your weekend forecast in just a few minutes, Derek.
All right, Chris, thank you. Just 2 days after the heated Republican town hall in Coeur d'Alene, the Kootenai County Sheriff's Office issued a press release acknowledging Sheriff Bob Norris's involvement in the incident. The release stated an independent investigation would be conducted by an outside agency. Now, here's footage from that town hall. Sheriff Norris is seen wearing a hat and tugging on Teresa Borenpaul's arm in an apparent effort to get her to leave. He's later seen directing security personnel to remove Borenpaul while also recording the incident on his phone. On Friday, we reached out to the Kootenai County Sheriff's Office for an update on the independent investigation and to ask who is conducting it. We received this email on Friday saying the Sheriff's Office had no comment. We also put in a public records request to the Sheriff's Office on Friday asking for this information and received this response saying, "Record not known to exist." Now, after several attempts to speak with the Kootenai County Sheriff's Office, we've found no evidence that it ever formally requested the independent investigation it said it would in February's press release.
As we inch closer to the 2025 NFL Draft, we take a little bit of a closer look at some of the impactful stories that these incredible athletes have to share. Tonight's focus is on Xavier Watts, a standout safety from Notre Dame who tells us who inspires him every day.
My dad was shot and paralyzed when I was really young, probably around 1 year old. But he's still been there for me my entire life. He's very loving, caring, resilient, hardworking. I feel like he's truly, truly a strong man. I feel like some people could go through what he went through and maybe just kind of lay down to it, what could have happened. But, he's continued to live his life the same every day as a regular person, even though he can't walk. Seeing what he's gone through has inspired me. Sometimes when I'm feeling bad, I kind of reflect on how he felt during his times of hardships and all the stuff he's went through so I can get to the point where I am today. I don't want to let him down, so I continue to push through the hard things and continue to work hard.
Great story there. And Watts is projected as a late first to early third round selection. We'll see what happens over the next few days. Plenty extra coverage of the NFL Draft coming up later in this cast. You won't want to miss what one high school coach says about his former player moments away from his big moment. Derek, back to you.
All right, Jack, thank you. In Olympia today, a House bill concerning gun laws has made its way to the governor's desk. If the bill is approved, laws would require gun buyers to apply for a 5-year permit from Washington State Patrol and complete live fire training before they're allowed to buy one. Troopers must issue the permit within 30 days or 60 days if the applicant doesn't have a state ID. WSP anticipates receiving at least 100,000 applications per year. Supporters of the bill believe this could help save lives, saying if this had been put into law a decade ago, the state would have seen 250 fewer homicides. But critics believe it violates constitutional rights by allowing the government to determine who can own a firearm. In New Jersey, a wildfire forcing major evacuations. Take a look. Thousands of people in Ocean County are fleeing their homes as a wildfire.
Overnight, a massive wildfire tearing through Ocean County, New Jersey, forcing some 3,000 people to evacuate their homes. The blaze nearly doubling in size yesterday, reaching at least 8,500 acres with only 10% contained overnight. Parts of the Garden State Parkway were shut down and more than 1,300 buildings were threatened, including a former nuclear plant. Crews attacking the fire from the air and on the ground, heavy winds fueling the flames. One man looking on in horror as the fire closed in on his neighborhood.
As the day progressed, it was kind of scary. You didn't know exactly what was going to happen. Should you leave? Should you stay? What should you take with you?
Power was cut to 25,000 local customers to protect firefighters.
With no lights, no power, no gas stations open, convenience stores, everything's closed. There's cops on every corner. It's just a very eerie feeling.
Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
It definitely looks eerie. Around the world now, the body of Pope Francis was moved to St. Peter's Basilica today, where it's now lying in state. It'll remain there for 3 days until his funeral on Saturday. CNN's Ivan Rodriguez is in Rome with the latest.
As the body of Pope Francis is lying peacefully in state at the altar of the Confession near the tomb of St. Peter in St. Peter's Basilica Wednesday, outside a somewhat different feel, crowds sprinted to get in line to view the body before viewing closed midnight. All Wednesday, the walls of the Vatican City at a swell, with lines stretching as far as the eye can see, as thousands of mourners waited to pay final respects to a man they felt they knew.
He cared for the poor, for animals, and changed the Catholic Church.
Trying to unify and accepting different religions, races, and genders.
Cardinals were the first to pay their respects among thousands of mourners passing by. 135 cardinals are now charged with choosing the Pope's successor in the coming weeks.
Very sophisticated electorate.
Mourners say they hope the values that Pope Francis modeled will endure.
Who will stand for the truth, to unite everyone, poor, rich, black, white, and all sorts of people, even believers and non-believers.
Pope Francis's papacy was unprecedented in many ways by being more inclusive, supporting same-sex civil unions, and his advocacy for migrants. In his final message, the Holy Father called for an end to wars in Gaza, Ukraine, and Sudan. His outpouring of love for others from around the globe now being reflected back onto him as he lies in state in a simple open wooden coffin upon the altar of the confession.
He was the Pope of the people.
In Rome, I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
Well, still ahead, scammers posing as law enforcement in Kootenai County. What you need to know to protect yourself and your money. And rising costs from tariffs could make your credit card debt worse. What experts are recommending you do to save money.
It's Wildlife Wednesday, and here's just a preview from Marty Stowe, who spotted this great blue heron in a case of his eyes bigger than his stomach. He had a mouthful of frog, but wasn't able to make it happen. Had to let the frog go. A little too much food in that bill. I'll be back with more and your 7-day forecast after the break.
Watch tonight before our luck runs out. Yeah. If you could remake Back to the Future, would you go back in time and see to it that you never met Matt Damon? That he disappeared?
Download the KXLY Plus app on your connected TV.
4 News Now is brought to you by Renewal by Anderson.
Dear unbreakable spirit, when the terrain is gnarly, you steady us. When obstacles are ahead, you lift us. When the turf is hostile, you inspire us. Own a legend. Toyota Trucks.
Right now, you can lease a tough new 2025 Tundra for just $539 per month. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
All right, so let's begin.
Spend 2025 with Jimmy Kimmel Live.
Oh, no one else is clapping?
New Kimmel, weeknights on ABC.
It takes 5 seconds to read an average text message. If you're driving a car going 30 miles an hour, that's enough time to travel 220 feet. That's a long distance. About 3/4 of a football field. Or enough room for 15 cars. Oh, so if all that can fit inside of 220 feet, then imagine how much the road could change while you read one text. So before you start driving, put your phone out of reach and stay focused on the road. Together, we get there.
The old me was stuck in the daily grind. My routine didn't allow for any self-expression. I found clay, and that changed everything. I realized my calling was to give others the space to be creative, to build something. And that's how Clayton was born. Having a Chase Ink card has allowed us to grow and bring people together. There's a creative side in all of us. That's what I hope people come here to find.
Earn up to 5% cash back on business essentials with the Chase Ink Business Cash Card from Chase for Business. Make more of what's yours.
You go from one place to another, and then keep going. That's why AutoNation Toyota is here to keep you on the go. Drive a brand new Toyota Tacoma Double Cab for only $339 a month. Go to AutoNation Toyota today.
4 News Now is brought to you by STCU, here for good.
In North Idaho news, construction crews in Post Falls are tearing up Spokane Street to replace the asphalt and repair stormwater systems. This is the continuation of a project that began last year. And the area marked in green here is already complete. The stretch in red is where the latest phase of construction is underway between 4th Avenue and Celtice Way. While the project isn't expected to last long, it's still testing the patience of drivers and businesses. But business owners like Andrew Bloomer of Republic Kitchen and Tap House say the dust and noise is annoying now, but long-term, he's hopeful it leads to more customers. Well, the eastbound on-ramp and westbound off-ramp to I-90 will be closed tomorrow while crews continue to work. The city is optimistic this project will wrap up on May the 9th. All right. Even for construction people, the weather outside is getting so much better for anything you need to do outdoors.
It is that warm sunshine, and boy, it really looks like it's going to be with us for a while. Before I get to that, I do want to share some wildlife photos with you, though. It is Wednesday, and the animals have been out enjoying the sunshine. In fact, I just posted Wildlife Wednesday photos on Facebook, and I think I had 60 photos this week. So it's a big week for wildlife. Mark Vogt shared this just picture-perfect photo of a beautiful white-tailed doe and her fawn, and don't they look cute? Look like they're posing for Mark. Courtney Litwin shared this gorgeous photo of a Steller's jay, evidently tricky to photograph because they are busy birds. They do not hold still for long, but she captured this amazing photo. I just love the colors on Steller's jay. Speaking of enjoying the sun, Paul Zambon caught these turtles enjoying the sun, sunning themselves along the trail of the Coeur d'Alene. Says they were the first turtles he's seen so far this season. They keep a pretty low profile in the winter. And from Travis Book, a great horned owl, probably would prefer the sunset so he could do his hunting, but a golden hour shot and just a beautiful photo. Thank you so much for that, Travis. 4 things to know about your weather. Clear skies for the next couple of days, a warming trend. We're going to be in the 70s through Saturday, perhaps even into Sunday. The weekend forecast has changed quite a bit from just Monday. Our chances of showers are beginning to dry up in the forecast. Here's what's going on. We've got a ridge of high pressure right now, and we've been watching this upper level trough that's going to be diving down the coast, and it looked like it'd be swinging in somewhere into Oregon and bringing us a cool and showery weekend, but now it looks like its path will head much further to the south. Now that here's Thursday, more high pressure. Now we may still end up with a few clouds from this system and possibly some showers as far north as Lewiston, but more likely this is going to be staying well to our south, and we are just going to be cruising through what looks to be a very nice weekend with temperatures in the 70s through Saturday and potentially through Sunday before we cool off a little bit heading into next week. This white line is our average high, still above average, and our long-range forecast is calling for above average temperatures through the entire first week of May. That would include Bloomsday. Your planning forecast then. High temperatures in the 70s for at least the next 3 days. I don't have a chance of showers on Saturday or Sunday, but we might see a sprinkle. Check back, but I would definitely forge ahead with any plans that you have. A 20% chance of showers on Tuesday. Meanwhile, tonight will be in the 30s and then 40s through the rest of the 7-day forecast. So early gardeners, you can rest easy for a while and no problems with any frost. Derek?
All right, Chris, thank you. And news for your money now. A new survey from Bankrate reports nearly half of Americans who have a credit card have debt. More than 70% of those people say they would be able to pay off that debt within 5 years. But experts are now concerned that due to President Trump's latest round of tariffs raising the cost of goods, people could have trouble paying off their debt during that time frame.
People are feeling squeezed between higher housing costs and medical care and food and childcare and all these things, and there's just not as much wiggle room.
If you have debt, Ted Rossman, who you just heard from, recommends people to pay off as much as they can on their card so you don't pay more in interest later. Or if you're able to, transfer your debt to a credit card with a 0% interest rate. The Cooney County Sheriff's Office is warning people about a new phone scam. Reports say scammers are impersonating people in law enforcement, claiming that you have outstanding warrants and trying to get you to give them your personal information or money over the phone. Some of the tactics they're using include having phone numbers that make it seem like KCSO is calling. The Sheriff's Office says it will never contact you regarding a warrant for your arrest, and it doesn't ask for payment over the phone. It also recommends you never share personal information over the phone, verify who is actually calling you, and report suspicious calls to the FTC. As fentanyl-related deaths rise in Spokane, what city leaders are planning to try to help the crisis? That's coming up.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Now's the time for a great deal on a new Honda. It's time to take an adventure with rugged capability and commanding style. From the Kelley Blue Book Best Value brand. Right now, you can get a 0.99% APR on a 2025 Passport.
WSECU Cashback Checking. You give and give and give. Let's give you something back. Just use your debit card to earn. WSECU Cashback Checking. Let's credit union.
So you've been thinking about upgrading your air conditioner for a while now. But with tariffs right around the corner, that waiting could cost you big time. Fortunately, Bill's Heating and AC planned ahead and stocked our warehouse full of pre-tariff air conditioners. Same comfort, same quality, without the coming price hike. But this equipment won't last long, so don't wait until prices go up. Take advantage of pre-tariff pricing and our lowest price guarantee. Call Bill's Heating and AC today and lock in comfort before comfort costs more.
Which automaker employs the most hourly workers in the country? Ford. Which automaker assembles the most vehicles in the country? Ford. That's not a coincidence. It's a commitment. A commitment Ford dealers share by offering employee pricing across a full lineup of Ford vehicles.
Now get employee pricing available across a full lineup of Ford trucks and SUVs. Employee pricing. You pay what we pay. Only from your local Ford dealer.
4 News Now is brought to you by Craig Swap & Associates.
In News for Your Health tonight, tackling the opioid crisis in Spokane.
Obviously, Spokane is outpacing the state average, and our state outpaces the national average in terms of overdose deaths. So it really remains an acute and real issue for people in our community.
The Spokane County Medical Examiner recently held a presentation on overdoses and the use of fentanyl in the county. Dr. Veena Singh reported that overdose deaths are up 300% in the county since 2018, and there were 352 overdose-related deaths in 2024. This makes up 5% of the total deaths that occurred in the county in 2024. While law enforcement agencies confirm a continued spike in drug use on the streets of Spokane County, the medical examiner says more than half of all overdose deaths happen in homes and apartments. To combat the crisis, city leaders are now working on a solution. $40 million has been set aside for this issue. One proposal for the money includes building a sobering center expansion to the Crisis Stabilization Center. If approved, this 2-year project would have a completion date of the spring of 2027. As the school year winds down, the workload for kids and teens tends to skyrocket between finals, end of the semester projects, and performances. And because of this, experts are now warning parents to look out for the signs of academic anxiety. Signs can include procrastination in the morning, talking back to teachers, or not completing assignments on time.
They're not able to go to school. They can't sleep. They're no longer engaging in activities they used to enjoy. They're withdrawing from their friends. They're not talking. They're tearful. These are signs you really want to pay attention to. And we don't want to wait until it's bubbled up to a point of crisis.
Now, if you notice these signs in your kids, Jody Baumstein of Children's Healthcare of Atlanta says you can start by opening a dialogue with your child. Listen to what they're saying and validate what they're going through. If your child continues to struggle, reach out to a professional for help. We have a change to our schedule tomorrow because of the NFL draft. We will have a special edition of 4 News Now at 4 o'clock. Then round 1 of the draft starts at 5. We'll have another special edition of 4 News Now after the draft coverage at around 8:30. And that NFL draft begins tomorrow in Green Bay with just one player native to Idaho on most of the draft boards, Jack.
It's Colston Loveland. He's an All-American tight end out of Michigan, looking to make his mark. Here from the draft to the break, his high school coach, what Loveland's success means to the whole state.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Parker Toyota.
Yeah, the NBA playoffs are here, and it's about to be ridiculous, unbelievable, unfair, downright nasty, straight up, can't miss, don't blink, grab your popcorn and strap in the cinema. This isn't about who's next. This is about who's now. This time is different. The NBA playoffs, Saturday on ABC.
Call it B-ball. What if a loved one called, terrified, begging for help, but it wasn't really them? Learn how scammers rip you off by stealing the voices of people you trust, and learn how to protect yourself. Tomorrow on Good Morning Northwest.
I'm a martial artist, a skydiver, a pilot, and all of them require your feet to work. Get up in the morning, and it felt like I was standing on marbles on my heel. When I went into the Good Feet store, the fitting was personalized. It was all about me. You put in the arch supports and your day becomes better and the sun shines, the unicorns run by, and it's a good life. I'm Randy, and that's my Good Feet story.
See for yourself with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
We're the advocates.
And we go to court.
The insurance companies take us seriously.
Because we go to court.
And if they don't offer you a settlement you deserve, they know.
We'll go to court.
So if you or a loved one are seriously injured in a crash...
Call us.
Oh, I thought for sure he was going to say...
We go to court.
There it is.
We're the advocates. And we go to court. Injured? You deserve an advocate.
You go from one place to another, and then keep going. That's why AutoNation Chevrolet is here to keep you on the go. Drive a Silverado 1500 ZR2 for $8,000 off. Go to AutoNation Chevrolet today.
As the 2025 NFL Draft quickly approaches, we have the only Idaho-born and raised prospect vying for one of the top spots at the tight end position, this guy, Colston Loveland.
I'm originally from Gooding, Idaho. It was about 3rd grade, got into rodeo, really loved it, was pretty good at it. So playing football, there's things you can connect for sure. Like a lot of times in rodeo, you just get one shot, you prepare all week for that one run, pressure moments, and then also just toughness. If you meet someone at rodeos, they're normally pretty tough and, they've been through a lot. I think that helps for sure.
Caught by Loveland, the tight end, for the touchdown.
The dream of me becoming an NFL player really started since I could remember. A lot of hard work, a lot of determination, but now we're here. So it's pretty cool to see it all come full circle.
Colston spent his Michigan career as a standout starter, an early enrollee for the 2022 year. He caught touchdowns against Ohio State and Purdue. He won the Big Ten title. Next year, helped out Michigan win their first national championship since 1997, and the first Idahoan to be a part of an FBS title-winning team since Jarrell Bostrom for Auburn in 2010. He earned a spot for Michigan after grinding to a 4-star, top-rated Idaho recruit from his time playing for the Gooding Senators. And his former head coach Cameron Anderson spoke with us about how much pride the whole state has for Loveland.
He caught that massive pass in the national championship game in the 4th quarter. The reporter said, the man from Idaho, like, he is the perfect reflection of what someone from Idaho would want to be represented and it goes somewhere else. And so I think that's where the pride comes from, is that he did it on his own sweat of his own brow. He sacrificed, he committed, and I just can't say enough about just proud that he was able to do those things.
Loveland is a projected first or second round pick, though I'd say maybe in the first. You can watch his draft moment here on 4 News Now during tomorrow's start of the draft at 5 p.m. Spokane Chiefs won a dramatic Game 6 against the Victoria Royals late last night. Their 3rd overtime win of the series and their 2nd in double overtime. This dub puts the Chiefs into the Western Conference Finals, their deepest run since 2019, and they face the Portland Winterhawks, a team Spokane hasn't seen in the playoffs since that 2019 run. Chiefs won that 7-game series in 5. The regular season meetings favored Spokane. They won 4 of their 6 meetings, including a perfect 3-0 at home. Puck drop for Game 1 is Friday night at 7 o'clock. Spokane Indians did not face too much trouble today in their 10-5 win over the Eugene Emeralds. They mashed 4 home runs to come back down 5-2 to win. Jesus Ordonez, he got the big light tonight, hammering a grand slam to take the lead in the 5th inning. Gene Perez followed that up with a solo shot. And later in the 8th, Jared Thomas added another 2 off his deep shot as well. Thomas has reached at least 1 base in all 17 of Spokane's games. Game 3 of this series is tomorrow back at 6:35 p.m. Seattle Mariners earned an especially hard-fought win tonight over the Boston Red Sox through a 3-run J.P. Crawford dinger and pushing back 2 Sox comeback attempts. Emerson Hancock tossed a commendable game with a career-high 7 strikeouts, just 2 earned runs. M set up an early rubber match tomorrow at 10:35 p.m. Pacific time. And breaking news a little earlier tonight, former Seattle Seahawk wide receiver Tyler Lockett signing with the Tennessee Titans for a 1-year, $4 million deal. Lockett spent 10 seasons in Seattle, and he joined wideouts Calvin Ridley and Traylon Burks in the Music City. So both Lockett and DK Metcalf gone in Seattle. Safe to say the Hawks are going to need to draft a wide receiver at some point this weekend. They probably could use a tight end, offensive lineman, a big need. Really just a lot of offense. They got to help.
We need linemen, for sure, for sure. Jack, thank you. We'll be right back.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Seems like everyone's going country these days. Let me show you how it's done. Yep, that Nashville Hot Sweet Heat is here on my 100% all-white meat popcorn chicken starting at $5.99. Tastes good to go country. Get so much more. Welcome to Jack in the Box.
92.9 ZZU.
For over 25 years, Dr. Arvind Chaudhry and Summit Cancer Centers has remained true to 3 core values. 25 years of coming together to develop the most complete and personalized treatment plans available. 25 years of providing the most advanced treatments and non-invasive radiosurgery in the country. 25 years of taking you on a healing journey from diagnosis to recovery.
And we are not stopping there. We will continue to offer the most comprehensive cancer treatment in the Northwest.
Summit Cancer Centers. Integrated, innovative, inspired.
The Silverado Trail Boss. And a little work. And a little play. And a truck that says no to nothing. And Chevrolet.
It's Chevy Truck Month. Well-qualified buyers get 2.9% APR for 72 months on this Silverado. Or get $5,350 total value on this Silverado. Plus, current competitive owners get an additional $3,000 total value when you trade in an eligible vehicle.
After a car wreck, the longer you wait, the harder it can be to get what you deserve.
After my recent accident, I called Craig Swap and Associates. They treated me fairly every step of the way.
One call, that's all.
Call the 9s, 509-999-9999.
Some people think going country is cheesy. I agree. Like deliciously cheesy. Yep, your favorite mozzarella sticks are back. Now with that Nashville Hot Sweet Heat, starting at $3.50. Get so much more under $4. Welcome to Jack in the Box.
See breaking news in your area or have a story idea? Contact 4 News Now.
This might be some of my best work, 70s and sunshine. Everybody loves the 70s, right in the comfort zone through at least Saturday, perhaps beyond. And those clouds, that's just partly cloudy skies this weekend, not It's going to be great. I don't know what else to say other than that.
I think you said it earlier, too, like it just keeps getting better and better, right? Those temperatures keep creeping up a couple degrees every day?
Yes, in fact, the evening's computer runs make me think it may even be warmer on Sunday. So, yes.
Okay. All right, and another reminder, we are on early tomorrow, 4 o'clock newscast. NFL draft coverage starts on ABC at 5 o'clock, and then we'll have a primetime newscast as well once that's over around 8:30. So you've been warned. We'll see you tomorrow.